The biggest mystery about the resurrection is why did people believe it? Why did people believe it so sincerely that they would do what no historian would expect? Continue to follow Jesus. Israel did not have a shortage of Messianic claimants. We know from Josephus that there was a number of very popular ones. But the thing is, once they perished, once they vanished, that movement also vanished, that there was no more thinking of that person as the Messiah. There was a very good reason for this, because within Jewish ideology, if you did not set the Jewish people free, you were not the Messiah. If you perished before you could actually set the Jewish people free, you were not the Messiah. So the idea that Jesus, who clearly perished on the cross, was still seen as the Messiah was something special, was something unexpected. We also have to remember that while the idea of resurrection was within that Jewish context, within that Jewish thought process, the idea that the Messiah would be resurrected, that he would be the one who would usher into this new age through resurrection, was not an idea that they were entertaining. It was not an idea that was simply out there. Simply put, there was no idea that the Messiah would die and rise again. That simply wasn't in the narrative. That this all happened within a Jewish context is rather surprising, because as historians, this is not what we would expect. What we would have expected is that once Jesus was crucified, his followers would have fled, because they would not have wanted to be crucified along with him. And then to add to all of this, the fact that they not only kept following Jesus, but they began to worship Jesus, even though he was crucified, even though he was considered a Roman criminal, is really akin to a miracle. It's the least likely thing that we would have expected to have happened. As historians, we don't really have any good reason for why this would have happened. It simply doesn't follow the likely outcome that we would expect. Now, if you do have faith that the resurrection did in fact happen, then all of this, it all makes sense. But from a historical perspective, it is rather something unique, something that, again, is a surprise. Now, I do want to be clear that none of this says that Jesus in fact was resurrected. But as historians, we do have to ponder these questions. We have to wonder why it went this way, because it's still rather a mystery. The reason why these people would defy all the odds and continue to follow Jesus is not what historians expect.